you like stuffed crust pizza? You know, the crust stuffed with cheese?
I do. I don't usually pay up for it, though. It's usually there's a charge, an upcharge for the stuffed crust. I noticed that you've said this before. You're like, why would you get pizza delivery for the most part when you can just buy DiGiorno? I saw that DiGiorno has a stuffed crust pizza.
They're doing it now.
And I
think this is why Pizza Hut had to combat what DiGiorno's doing.
What are they doing?
Because they're just selling the stuffed crust just by itself. It's like buying breadsticks with cheese inside of it, which is just pretty good with marinara dipping sauce.
No, it's good. But that's cheese sticks.
But it's not cheese sticks because it's stuffed crust. So they take the crust from the pizza, they stuff cheese in it, and then, it's the same dough. I'm sure they're not cutting the crust off the pizza.
I'm telling you. How long has it been since you've had Pizza Hut?
Oh, my God. I had it last year. I had it in Arizona, and it was good. I loved it.
Okay, there's the Pizza Hut options around here are few and far between.
There's one in Santa Maria.
There's one in Paso.
Is there? Okay.
And
I haven't been to the one in Santa Maria.
I'll tell you right now, I am not impressed with. It's not what I remembered as a kid. The pizza's a lot different now, and I would say a lot more value oriented than it was when I was a kid. When I was a kid, man, Pizza Hut was the only pizza I would eat. It was like, that's it, man. My dad tried Domino's. I was like, no, Domino's. I want Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut was the Cadillac.
It's the best
of pizzas.
And my favorite was that Meat Lovers pizza. It had crunchy bacon on it. And I never had real bacon on a pizza before.
Whatever they did with their crust that made it crispy on the bottom.
The pan crust.
It was so good.
It was really good.
And now I've ordered that, and it's not the same.
Really?
It's not the same.
Huh.
It's not the same.
I hadn't had it. Like I said, I had it last year, and I thought, oh, man, I missed this flavor. There was a certain flavor to the crust.
You liked it?
In Arizona, when I was at my parents' house in Havasu, they had a Pizza Hut. And nobody liked the pizza but me. But maybe it was a trip down memory lane.
And that could have been, too, just by seeing the logo.
And the flavor. It reminded me of the same flavor that I hadn't had in a long time.
That's where I was wrong with it. Now, it's funny because I opened Pandora's box by getting Pizza Hut pizza because my kids loved it. And then I started thinking, well, maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe only people under the age of 16 like the taste of Pizza Hut pizza.
Right.
But they are such an influencer when it comes to purchasing pizza that I went back and got it again because I knew that the kids liked it.
You know, Woodstocks, I revisited Woodstocks last week.
Great pizza.
And they have something, I think it's called a Slow Classic or something. It's called the Slow something. It's got all my favorite toppings. And I love their spicy sauce. So, anyways, that's the last piece of pizza I had. The crust is not the same as the pan pizza from Pizza Hut that I remember, but it's pretty good. And they have many options, which is rare, right? We went there because originally my wife, they have a gluten-free crust. They have a cauliflower crust, which is separate, different. And they also have a whole wheat crust and a regular crust. A lot of different crust options at the Woodstocks here in Slough.
Cauliflower crust. Are you on board with that? I've never tried it.
I tried making one at home when I did keto a couple years ago. And, it's a lot of cheese and cauliflower, and it's a crust. Doesn't taste like pizza crust. But, I mean, you put enough sauce and sausage and cheese in there.
Okay, when you say it's a crust, does it taste like cauliflower?
No.
Because you tried to sell me this line of cauliflower BS a couple years ago.
Cauliflower doesn't taste like anything.
Bull.
Not the riced cauliflower. I make it all the time.
That's what I'm talking about.
I can make you fried rice. I don't even think you would know the difference.
Crap.
I've made it.
Okay, I bought the
peanut oil.
I bought the
sesame
rice,
oil. Sorry,
the riced cauliflower to try to trick my kids. And I'm like, hey, check it out. We got your chicken and rice here. Here you go with the teriyaki sauce. And my daughter takes one, and she the look of distrust that she had on her face when she took that first big bite of her.
What kind of crap are you trying to sell us?
Her favorite rice and chicken teriyaki. And then I ruined her because she didn't trust me whenever I made teriyaki after that. I was like, yeah, that's rice. She's like, doesn't smell like rice. I'm like, no, it's rice. Look at it. It's fine. She takes a big bite. She's like,
well, because you didn't put anything on it.
I did. I put the sauce. I put the chicken. I put the seasoning. I put everything that I could on it to try to mask the fact that it was actually cauliflower. Yeah. You can't trick kids.
Well, no, it is different. You're not going to trick anybody. It doesn't taste like rice.
Okay, you just told me.
But it doesn't taste like cauliflower.
I could make fried rice and you wouldn't even know that it's not.
Oh, I could make. Yes, I tell you what. I made it and it's hot.
I tried.
It's tough.
I tried.
It's tough. I mean, with the seasonings that I use and the
well, will you make it for my daughter?
Sesame
She's
oil,
not buying that line of BS.
That fried rice, I tell you what, was really good.
She's not buying that snake oil.
Yeah. So, anyways, by the way, happy birthday. How was your birthday weekend? Is it good?
Yeah, it was good. We took the train up, ate indoors in Paso Robles.
I can't believe that you can do this still.
Yeah, Paso Robles, they have a different philosophy, I guess.
Is everybody doing it, or is it just certain places? Not everybody's doing the indoor
just
seating.
Certain places. And
I would just like to do the
comfortable with
outdoor
situation.
seating somewhere.
Yeah, but the problem is in Paso Robles in wintertime, outdoor seating once
very
the
cold.
sun goes down is
very cold.
very, very cold. So yeah, we opted for going inside. But the whole thing was the train. The train ride was where it's at. I like riding the train, except for they did make you wear the mask. But they didn't ask us if our travel was essential because, believe me, that was not essential travel.
Don't forget, if you're listening to this morning, you could win a $20 gift certificate to go to Federico's Fresh Mix.
We could have very easily just got in the car and gone up there.
Just by tuning in and listening, we'll ask a question at the end of the show at 9:40. If you know the answer, you call in, you win it. It's that easy.
Whoa! Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
So, since the beginning of the pandemic, I've said that it lends to a toxic environment from the standpoint of politics because, and I think this is why people are just searching for things to make sense, and sometimes they search a little too hard, and there's conspiracy theories that come out of pandemics and politics, and who knows, some of them might be right, some of them might be wrong. I have no idea. I have my doubts. I don't care to share them right now. But it's, I think everybody has a little bit of doubts, but I've said this since the beginning of the pandemic. It's terrible to take sports and music out of culture because they are the great equalizers. Like, you can go to a sporting event and sit next to somebody who's got a totally different political view than you and not care because you're at the sporting event pulling for the same people. You could go to a concert, sit next to somebody with a totally different political view, but you're both there for the music and
You both like the same band.
the appreciation of
Plus,
the
on
music.
top of it, when you have sports, it's a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not just focused. I found myself, I listen to the news a lot because, I listen to some music, but I have to be in the mood to listen to music. So I've been listening to a lot more news
Last week
in the car than I have. Used to listen to sports, but there's not a whole lot going on right now.
Last week after the whole Capitol mess, I wanted to get briefed on it, and when I got home, so I started watching the news. I watched the news for about 30 minutes, got a little depressed because the news was not good last week after that Capitol mess, and I turned it over to sports. I wanted to be put in a better mood. Apparently, dogs will do this too. New survey found that 87% of dog owners said they've been able to bond and find common ground with fellow dog owners, even if they have political differences. Now, I don't know how that comes up in conversation at the dog park, like, hey, who are you voting for? But, I mean, there are...
It's not just the dog park. It's on social media. Animals have their own pages.
true.
I thought when my wife was going to make a social media page on Instagram for George, our bulldog, I was kind of thought it was funny. But then I get on there on his page, and of course she runs it and she likes everything. There's all these other dogs.
Is your
that
dog an
have-
influencer?
Yeah, and just look at this guy. This dog's getting a bath. And just look at his face. You can tell he's miserable. But
Yes.
it's entertaining.
Hates having
and
a
it's a
bath.
good distraction. And I tell you what, whenever
Why-
I'm in a
why do you
bad
think
mood, I
cat-
will look at this page and look at all these funny dogs, and it will put me in a great mood instantly. But I'm a dog guy, so I'm an animal guy.
What other equalizers are there? So we have sports,
Marijuana.
pet ownership, marijuana. No, seriously, I think to some extent,
Of course it is.
It doesn't matter what your political.
Dude, I don't give a crap who you are. You sit down and smoke a joint with somebody or pass the bong or whatever.
and especially
People don't care. They're like, yeah, bro, I'll smoke some weed with you, bro.
especially if you are
gotta say bro.
a connoisseur. I was talking to a friend of mine from high school recently, and he's heavy. He owns his own.
Yeah, this is your buddy that owns the shop.
Yeah,
I remember when I met him back in the day, and I think he was still in high school when we met him because we were just in college, and he was a little bit younger.
Technically, his wife owns the shop because if the feds ever decide to come in, somebody
was a
has,
big pot
somebody
smoker.
has to look after the kids. So she goes to jail. He doesn't. I was like, how'd you work up that deal?
Jeez, I would have thought it would be the other way around.
But yeah, he is very heavy into it. And I was talking to him on a Zoom meeting, and he was telling me, and he started getting really deep. And I'm not that well versed in the world of marijuana, and I was just sitting there, but I could see if I was
he talking about cannabinoids?
Yeah, very technical. I'll just say that, and I couldn't relate, and I was left out of the conversation on it. But it was I could see how people dork out sci-fi. Maybe is something that people dork
Video
out.
games.
Oh yeah,
video games,
big
right?
time.
I mean, we could go other booze too. Like I know wine is something that brings people together, and you could separate
There's a lot
your
of differences. Yeah,
but if you love wine,
yeah,
anything I guess you love.
There's a lot of stuff that is different about
Sports.
different types of wine. They're equalizers.
Yeah,
out there.
drugs and sports have this in common.
Drugs, sports,
Yeah,
dogs,
it's the great divide.
Music, wine. What else?
Running, exercising.
Cats.
How about exercising?
If you have dogs, you got to have cats, right?
Yeah,
Exercising.
animals. I think animals altogether. I don't know. Some people are just junkies for running and biking and doing those kind of stuff.
They are.
Or hiking, going on hikes.
Yeah.
That's an exercise, but at the same time, you could start talking to somebody about your favorite places to hike.
So
Maybe we should focus more on that.
Yeah,
politics.
we're putting out a laundry list.
More of the things we have in common
by accident today, and I know a lot of people. This is New Year's and New Year's resolution time and all that stuff, and I know we're 11 days late to the New Year's resolution. But if you haven't found one yet, maybe adopt one of these philosophies, so you're not all in a rot over something you can't really control, and that is the politics. I mean, you could control it when you vote, but after that, I mean,
you're done.
It's just a downward
Instead
spiral.
Of arguing
of
with people about your differences, find out what you have in common with people. God, listen to us. Are we? Is this a TED Talk? Are we doing a motivational TED Talk right now?
Yeah, except for TED Talks are 20 minutes long, and this one's not going to be 20 minutes long.
No, it's only about 5 probably right now. But you know
Let's
what?
do everybody a
Focus
favor.
on things you have in common with people, not things you do. I mean, come on. I don't know why we haven't thought about that earlier.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever thought about that? So maybe just try to focus on things you have in common with people. Like the people that I don't like here at the radio station. I'm going to start trying to focus on things that we have in common.
That's a tough stretch.
The couple people I'm thinking of, it's really tough. Except for the fact that we work at this radio station. We don't even like the same music. Screw them.
I mean, it's just down to lunch at that point. What'd you have for lunch today? It doesn't even jive with what I'm having. Never mind. We'll try again tomorrow.
Wake up. Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
I love reading these stories from other countries, especially Asian countries like China. I mean, last week we were talking about South Korea is going to give families $100,000 per family if they have 3 kids. This is a Chinese company who is going to start deducting money from your paycheck for trips to the bathroom. It's a science and technology company, and they're only allowing 1 toilet break per day. Now, I have no idea, because it doesn't say here, what a work day is like in China. But I guarantee you, they're probably not getting all the benefits that we're getting. And it's at least 8 hours, wouldn't you think?
It's about efficiency there, Jeremy. It's not about quality of life.
Exactly. The next time you bitch about your work environment.
Oh, they won't let me work from home. Oh, well, you could have 1 bathroom break a day.
You get 1 bathroom break a day. Every bathroom break on top of that, they'll deduct $3 from your paycheck.
This is the Dwight Schrute, the manager?
Oh, my God, right? Did they see this on The Office? The company claims that workers were being lazy and using bathroom breaks to grab a smoke or just avoid other responsibilities.
God, you need to smoke if you're working in those kind of conditions. I mean, you need some kind of escape. Jesus.
I mean, think about how lazy the American worker is, or distracted with social media, or who knows, texting, whatever. And I mean, God, do you know how much I would be charged? I drink a lot of coffee and water in the morning, and I probably take, during the show, when we go to a commercial break, I'll run out. I mean, I can do it pretty quick. I can be back in 2.5 minutes. I've timed myself. But I'll probably take at least 5 to 7 bathroom breaks a day. You never go to the bathroom, I feel.
I do. I'm pretty regular, to be honest with you.
Not during the show. Or at least I don't notice it.
No, sometime between.
A couple times.
It's always between 1 and 4 at some point in time, and depending on what I'm working on, I can hold it until about 4, and after 4, I can't hold it anymore.
Why do you hold it? I gotta go. I go.
Well, I find that if I stay seated, I'd be a good employee at this company, to be honest with you.
You'd make the most money
if I stay seated.
Everybody would hate you.
Yeah, I know. I'd be like, "You got docked $3 again? Come on!
What are you wearing diapers over there?
Get your bladder under control, bro." I find if I stay seated, it provides a kink in the gravity flow of whatever's going on inside my body. And the minute I stand up, anytime between 1 and 4, I have to go to the bathroom. So I don't, if I'm working on something, I just make sure that I stay seated because I don't want to be taken away. Because when you go to the bathroom, and I get what the Chinese are saying, okay, when you go to the bathroom, it's a distraction beyond just the time that you're spending in there. Like if you're deep into working on something and you're cranking out work and then you get up and you leave, you're opening yourself to all kinds of distraction. People could stop and talk to you.
Right.
There's all kinds of things that
all kinds of diversions that can happen, and you're never going to get right back into that project.
Come back and forget exactly where you left off.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
that happens to me sometimes. I'll be editing something. We edit a lot of audio here, and then that will bounce out and so on. I was just thinking, what is the normal standard in California? I think you get a mandatory 30-minute lunch. And 2
well, believe me, we know about that.
Unpaid, and then 2 paid 10-minute breaks. So I don't know what they're doing. So in China, I mean, you get 1 bathroom break, and you can smoke your cigarette, you can take a piss, maybe a pee and smoke at the same time.
805-543-3693. If it's a mandated 10-minute break that you're getting paid, what do you do with your 20 minutes in an 8-hour shift? Now, to be honest with you, I work. I work through them.
I swear, if you're not a smoker, you don't use them. Does anybody ever just take a break?
Yeah,
unless you go out to have a cigarette.
What are you doing?
The only people I know that take breaks are cigarette smokers.
And what are you doing with that 10 minutes? If you do take a 10-minute break and you're not smoking, you're probably going and talking to somebody,
distracting them.
And distracting them. So then you're now getting into their space. And who knows if they're on their 10-minute break or not? Chances are they're not, because nobody's 10-minute breaks line up. You take your 10-minute break when you feel like it, right?
Everybody has that office stop and chat guy. Like, we have to keep our door closed, because if we have the door open to the studio, we always close it when we're on the air, but then sometimes we'll open it just to get some fresh air in here, and then the stop and chat guy stops. And even with COVID, he'll wear the mask, but he'll have to come in and find some reason to talk to you. Ooh, like today, he came in.
We have 2 mask-wearing stop and chat guys.
Well, one of them came in this morning, and it was like wanted to talk about the plexiglass that they put in last week. He's like, "Oh, look at yours." Like, yeah, it looks just like yours. He goes, "Oh, you haven't seen ours? It goes all the way across."
We got bigger plexiglass than you guys.
So Jeff and I just sit in here, and so we just have 1 piece of plexiglass. Down where he works, he's got 2 pieces. I'm like, "Oh, congratulations! I don't care." It doesn't seem to. It doesn't bother me.
Is this going to make you? I know you're not a hockey fan, but will this make you a hockey fan?
No, but I have been thinking about. There's plenty of really good things I could do here. Like I can put Post-it notes up.
Yeah, you can.
I'm waiting for you to just block me out altogether, so you don't have to see me.
I've already.
And we'll just put a bunch of Post-it notes up, and then I don't have to actually look.
If they didn't put it up on a Thursday night, I would have done it already. But the thing is, I forgot about it over the weekend, and now I got to figure out how to do it.
This is really funny.
I'm working on something good to put up there though, and I don't know what it is yet.
God, I'm going to post this picture, but look how messy your area is. Oh my God, it's so funny.
Oh, and I cleaned it up for the plexiglass installation too.
Just put a bunch of tape up, but before it was air. Now we got the plexiglass. Anyway, so I guess if you're working, be happy to have a job.
Poll question.
And be happy that you get to have your 2 paid breaks and a mandatory lunch break.
Poll question.
Because otherwise you could be in China.
SurfNet Communications poll question. Do you take advantage of your 10-minute breaks? Do you use your 10-minute breaks? It's at kzoz.com.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.